Hi, this is Brad Linder. I've been a little too lazy to do a lot of pictures and regular posts about my garden update, so I figured I'd come up here on the roof and shoot a little video to show you what's been going on with the garden since I did the last update on my blog. As you can see, we got quite a bit of greenery. Some of it's coming in better than others. So, for instance, over here, this is sort of the plot of failed things. We've got here some onions that I planted in the spring, and here we are now in October, and they really just haven't grown in very well. I think they were too close together. I need to spread them out a little bit more, and it's also possible that the soil is more difficult to water than in some of the larger planters because it's a little shallower here. This here was patsoi. It's an Asian green vegetable, and as you can see, some of it sort of grew up, but I didn't really get a lot of good leafy greens from it, and that was partly because I had bug infestation. I decided to let it go to flower just because this is my first year really doing an extensive being a couple of planters garden up on the rooftop, and so I wanted to see what would happen when it goes to flower, and eventually you get these sort of dry seed pods, so I might try to harvest some of these and try planting it again next year if I think I can avoid that bug infestation. As you can see, I've also got a whole bunch of little green sprouts here of some sort. I'm not entirely sure if those were coming from it or not. Mostly I'm just sort of leaving this as a natural environment, or as natural as you can get with potting soil and plastic pots up on the roof. Anyways, over here we've had a lot more success though. Snow peas, I think, are really one of the best things that I've grown, and in the fall they've come out a lot better than in the springtime. I think that's because the soil was warmer when they started. I planted them directly in the soil instead of starting them inside. I haven't had a lot of success planting snow peas indoors, just because I don't think we get a lot of sunlight in most of the places where I tried to grow them. I have to keep them out of the hands of the kittens. They love eating green things in the house. So we've got some nice big thick stems up here and lots of flowers. And every day I've been coming up and finding more snow peas. This guy's a little bit small, so I'm going to go ahead and wait another day or so to pick him. But within a day or two, these guys go from flowering buds to full-size snow peas. And you don't want to let them get too large because once the seeds start to get really thick, the snow peas aren't quite as tender. But, you know, once or sometimes even twice a day I can come up here and get snow peas. And with a number of plants, some in each of the planters here, there's never really enough that one day's worth makes a whole meal, but usually in 2 to 3 days I can pick enough to make to add to some stir fry or something, which has been really great so far. Peppers have been a little bit of a mixed story. I think that it's tough to grow them up on the rooftop here. You can see the leaves are getting really yellow on this plant, but I've got this one pepper that's just about ready to pick. This is a sweet bell pepper. Should be a lot larger, and you can see that there's a larger one behind it, but I'm not entirely sure if it's the direct sunlight, the heat, or if the soil's been too wet or too dry or something. I'm going to have to experiment some more with these guys, but I did get one really nice red pepper that actually had thick enough, it had enough texture that it was nice and juicy. I'm not trying to grow hot peppers, just trying to grow sweet red peppers. And the first 1 or 2 that I got so far this year were the skin, basically the fruit of the vegetable was not very thick, so it wasn't very tasty. I've got a couple of green guys here still. I'm not sure if there's going to be enough time for it to turn red, so I might just eat that as a green pepper. There's another one back here. And again, I was hoping that they would be larger, I was hoping the plants would grow taller, and I was hoping that they would ripen a little bit quicker, but it's now 60 degrees, it's fall, it's not going to be very warm for much longer, and peppers really do need heat to grow, so we might just try again next year and see if I can position them differently or put up some more shade or something. Right now part of the problem is that we're on a large rooftop here with a lot of exposure. When it gets bright, it gets really bright, really hot, and these guys are just sort of battered with sun. And eventually we're going to hopefully put a deck or something up here, and when we do that, maybe we'll have room to put some sort of shade. It might also be nice to do a cold frame so I can grow spinach and other vegetables in the winter. Right now spinach is almost a non-starter. I got a few in the spring, but I haven't really had any success with spinach so far in the fall. Green onions have done pretty well in some of these other planters, though. They took a lot longer to get to maturity than I expected. Again, I planted these guys close to the spring, but they're pretty much full-sized and they're pretty tasty. Just pluck 1 or 2 of these out and chop it up and make some dinner. The green beans are pretty much past their prime at this point, so I'm going to probably this weekend go ahead and chop these guys down. And I'm not entirely sure. I think that might be some of the spinach I tried to plant, but it's been quite a while and it hasn't grown up too well. Oh, look. I think there is one good green bean in here. So I'll go ahead and pick that guy when I turn this off. Some of these plants, the green beans were in here first. They were in here most of the summer and didn't really generate a lot of vegetables. The snow peas, though, I added just before the fall, just before the weather started to get cold, and they've grown like crazy. So snow peas, I'm definitely getting the hang of. Hopefully by next year I'll figure out how to grow some other vegetables as well. So there you go. That's a sort of fall roundup of the Rooftop Garden. This is Brad Linder in Philadelphia.